Hello, friends. Welcome to the LeggLife podcast. My name is Adam.
My name is Sherry.
Sherry, Beth, what episode is this?
64.
This is the second episode in a row that we are recording in our new podcast studio, aka Archie.
Yep. And I feel like there might be a few of these this summer because we plan on kind of getting out and exploring a little bit, and so we're just not going to be home as much.
So, I know that the audio, not as great as when we record in the studio, but this at least helps us actually get podcasts out.
Correct. And not be like 11:30 on Friday night and be like, crap.
Or be like 2 weeks later and be like, oh yeah, we haven't recorded a podcast in 2 weeks.
That too.
Because that's also happened.
Yep.
Sherry, we are doing so last week's episode was like a we're stuck in traffic, sort of a just random stream of thought podcast.
Yes.
This one's going to be a little bit different though.
Yes, so we actually went live on Instagram and asked for ideas, and we got a really good one.
We did get a good one. So this week, what we're talking about are road trips.
Road trip must-haves.
We are talking food. We're talking like the snacks. We're talking music. We're talking people. We're talking road trip essentials. What makes the road trip better? As soon as, I don't remember who it was that suggested this, but whoever suggested it, like when Sherry read that, I was like, that is 100% the episode we're doing.
Yep. It's a great idea.
But Sherry, I want you to pick what we start with. What is the first topic?
Snacks.
Ooh, we're starting with snacks.
Snacks.
Okay.
Because I think they're essential to a good road trip. You have to have snacks.
I completely agree. I want you to talk about what your go-to road trip snacks are. Like you walk into a gas station, you walk into a grocery store, and you're getting just a couple things, a few things to have for the road trip. What are you getting?
Well, I'm a big fan of the sweet and salty.
Okay.
But not necessarily together.
Oh.
So I want like something sweet, and then I want to be able to switch to something salty.
Okay.
And so usually some kind of candy. I'm pretty easy when it comes to candy, but gummies or chocolate of some kind, or it doesn't matter. Something sweet. So
you always have a sweet option.
Yep.
Okay.
And then I really like combos. And I know that this is an unpopular opinion, because I know very few people who do actually like combos. I am one of them. I love them, and I always want them for a road trip. Like, it's not just like a normal, like, everyday kind of snack. Like, when I think road trip snack, I always go combo.
Do you, outside of a road trip, do you ever get combos?
So rarely. Rarely.
So it really is something you associate with a road trip?
Yes.
I will also say that I feel like combos probably are more popular than we know, simply because
they've been around forever.
100%. So it's not just you buying combos.
Right.
I do know. So I'm super so-so on combos. I don't hate them. I'll eat them if that's the option, but like I would never choose them. But what do you love? Because there's lots of different flavors.
There's flavors. I like the cheese, just like the cheese combos.
Yep.
I like the pepperoni pizza.
Oh.
Probably those two. Like either one of those, and I'm gold.
I also do know that, like, if I'm ever looking to get you just a little gift, I can always bring you a bag of combos and you're thrilled.
Yeah.
Any other road trip snacks, like you kind of go to, those are just like a sweet option and a salty option is what you look for balance?
I feel like also always jerky of some kind.
Yeah, that was going to be my number one.
Yep. I do feel like we always get some kind of jerky for road trips.
Yeah, jerky would be my number one. For a couple of reasons. Number one, I just freaking love it. Mm-hmm. Number two, I feel like it's difficult to get protein when it comes to road trip snacks.
It's always candy or like chips.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And so jerky, if I had to pick two or three, jerky is always going to be among them.
Yeah.
Then I would pick then I would take the Sherry approach. So then I would go, okay, so I would choose a chip option. And my chip option that I normally choose, here's the thing.
Not road trip friendly.
It is one of the worst things you could buy to snack on a road trip.
Yeah.
But I love it. Cheetos. And it's so horrible on a road trip because then you got orange fingers on the steering wheel. You don't normally have like a napkin, so you're wiping them on your pants. Now you got orange pants. Like, they're horrible, but on a road trip, I love Cheetos.
Yeah.
And then for my sweet option, I would almost always go chocolate, like peanut M&Ms, regular M&Ms, Reese's Pieces, those kind of things. Not like a candy bar, like something I could eat like it's in a bag.
Yeah, I agree with that. I like chocolate, but I feel like it melts, and so I feel like, especially with like road trips, like if it's sitting in the sun at all, it's like it just gets melty and messy, and so I would tend to steer clear of chocolate things if it's just me.
Well, here's the thing. By my choosing Cheetos, I think we all agree that messiness
is not actually
something I consider.
Right. It's always something I consider.
So those are like our go-to road trip snacks.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about what are some foods that are you should never, like, just avoid at all cost road trip snacks.
Yeah. Well, for me, it's anything messy, like peanuts in the shell.
Interesting.
Don't do it. The sunflower seeds, people love to bring like the sunflower seeds or whatever and like chew on them and then spit them out the window, but then it's like up and down and up and down and up and down, and it's just stop. You are the annoying person in the car.
Well, and what's really funny is that I remember like multiple times seeing, like, you'll pass a vehicle in a parking lot and they just have like those sunflower seed spit marks down the side of their vehicle, and it's like, oh, you're a sunflower seed, you were on road trips.
It's just gross. Like, just don't be that person.
Okay. What else?
We were kind of like joking about this earlier, like spaghetti.
Like anything like that. It's like messy,
saucy, anything saucy.
Ooh,
like,
saucy.
Yeah, don't bring on a road trip anything that flakes everywhere. I don't know.
Also, I would say don't bring anything you can't share.
Ooh, yeah, that's good.
Because if you're on a road trip with multiple people, like, you want to be able to have, it's one of those things, like, it's like, did you bring enough for the whole class?
Right.
If the answer is no, don't bring it.
Don't bring it.
Also, inconsiderate for other people. Don't bring things that make you gassy.
Yeah.
Right? If
you're not going to be locked in a car for hours.
Yeah, and you know that, like, Indian food tears you up, let's not bring that to snack on. Or, like, a bowl of chili. Maybe we don't. Right? Like, maybe we don't do that.
Because it's messy twice.
It's messy twice. Yes. Wow. Sherry went there. Okay, that is very true. So those are kind of the road trip snack do's and don'ts.
Yeah, let's discuss drinks, though, because I feel like that's in the snack category.
Okay, I am probably very rare. I'm probably in the minority when it comes to road trip drinks. When I'm doing a road trip, you know what I want?
What?
Water.
Just water?
Think back.
Yeah.
How often do I ever bring anything on a road trip that's not water?
Rarely.
Yeah.
Yep. I'm usually coffee, obviously, or some kind of soda. I do always want water as an option, though.
So you want water and something else?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I am normally just, and I don't know why, I mean, well, first of all, I drink a lot of water already.
Yeah.
I'm just naturally a water drinker.
I'm not.
And so, I do like, if I had like a soda, like a cream soda or something,
yeah,
that would be nice. Yeah, I could do that.
Yeah.
But I'm not, I don't know, like, I'm not a big, I don't have a go-to road trip drink other than water, I guess.
Yeah, I'm like Dr. Pepper or Mountain Dew.
That's pretty much, those are your sodas, though.
Those are kind of the sodas that I drink anyway, if I'm gonna drink a soda.
Yeah. Let's talk road trip beers. I'm joking. Don't do that. Don't be dumb, you guys. But I do want to move on next, because that's the food.
Yep.
That's the drink.
Yep.
There is another element that I feel is vitally important to a good road trip.
Correct.
Music.
A good playlist.
A good playlist.
Yep.
Now, I'm very curious when we get to the end when we ask you guys questions, because I want to know your thoughts on what makes a good road trip playlist.
Yeah.
You and I are largely in agreement.
Yep.
That what makes a good road trip song or playlist?
Fun.
Yep.
Happy.
Yeah, I will say road trips are not the time, at least for me, for ballads.
Yeah, I mean, I love me some, like, Ants and Zebra, but I'm not going to listen to them on a road trip.
Yep, if you guys don't know who that is, like, almost like acoustic, piano-driven, soft,
sad,
like, breakup music.
Yep.
That's right.
Beautiful.
Sure.
But not so much what I want on, like, a road trip.
For a road trip, you want...
Fun, happy...
Give me some, like, Sherry road trip
familiar
artists.
Beach Boys.
Okay.
Something like that.
For me, I'm thinking Bruno Mars.
Yeah.
Coldplay. I'm thinking Bob Seger and the Silver Bullet Band.
I'm also a big fan of like big, like Kelly Clarkson, or just like musicals.
Oh, see, that's not me so much.
Yep, I want the big. I want to be able to like belt something out.
Okay, well, and that goes to one of the things that you touched on that I want to spend a minute talking about. Is that's for me, it's about familiarity, because I am a road trip singer.
Yeah.
I would argue that if American Idol was only held in this Jeep with me as the only contestant, that I would win most seasons.
Oh, well, I mean, if you were the only contestant, then
well,
yes.
Maybe. I very much am a singer. But in order to sing along, you have to, like, know the song.
I agree with that. So, yeah, this, like, a road trip is not the time to, like, test out a new artist or, like, listen to a new album from an artist you love. Like, you want the songs that you know and can just sing along with.
This is also one of the reasons that it can be difficult to road trip with other people, and you and I have experienced this.
Yeah.
Because what's familiar to you isn't always familiar to me.
Yeah, so trying to find the balance of, like, what's familiar to everybody in the car is harder.
I do want to say, and I'm gonna brag on myself for a second. Some of you may know this. I used to be a DJ back in the day.
Yep.
And so I have an idea of the kind of music that tends to move the most amount of people.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that my DJ skills, if I'm creating songs, a playlist for other people, are truly unmatched. Top notch. Do you remember driving back from Seward? I believe it was with Auburn and Desi and you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember when I was the DJ?
Yes.
Because here's the thing. When I think of you three ladies, you know what I said? I said Shania Twain. I said Celine Dion.
Yeah.
I said Barbara Streisand.
Yeah.
Right? And it's like, so in some ways, if you want to be a good road trip DJ, think of your audience.
Yeah, know your audience.
Don't just play what you want to hear, because if you're playing what only you want to hear, everyone else in the car might be super bored.
Right.
But play with the audience in mind.
Yep, agreed.
Yeah, road trip, oh my gosh. I think music is one of the most important things.
Yes, I agree.
Now, let's talk people.
People. I feel like you and I travel really well together. And I think a big part of that is that we know each other well.
Yes.
And we travel similarly. We're both pretty like laid back travelers. We listen to similar kinds of music. Like, it varies a little bit, but for the most part, you and I will, like, I can play a playlist that you and I can both sing along with.
Yeah, and I feel like this goes back to us traveling very similarly. Today's a perfect example. We're driving to Seward. We're going to the Mermaid Festival. But, like, we don't have any time to be there. Like, we don't have, like, there's not an event we're trying to get to.
Right.
And so it normally takes about 2.5 hours to get to Seward. If it takes us 4 hours because we decided to stop and, like, sit alongside a river and take photos,
yep,
we're both fine with that.
Sketch a little bit.
Like, that doesn't bother either of us.
Right, yeah, we're both kind of just like, yeah, sure, we can stop.
Sure, let's sit here. Let's, like, enjoy this. Let's, you know. So I think that's really helpful. But not everybody is a great road trip, like, traveler.
I agree. And so one of the things that can make road trips be a little less enjoyable, potty breaks.
Oh, okay.
And this is something that I feel like you and I are also similar on.
Yep.
In that we don't have to stop every 2 minutes.
Yeah, we are not frequent peers.
No. Either one of us. And so we could kind of just go for a few hours and be fine.
Totally.
And not everybody's like that, it's fine. But, like, I feel like that's a conversation to have before you road trip with somebody.
Oh, so that's to me, I feel like there should be road trip contracts.
Or at least discussions.
There's a discussion before we leave that's like, all right, because if I know that you want to stop every 20 minutes to pee, or you need to stop every 20 minutes to pee, that doesn't bother me at all.
Right, but
not
you're
even a little
going
bit
into it. But, like, if you're just like, okay, it's going to take us 2.5 hours to get to Seward, but it ends up taking us 5 because we have to stop every 20 minutes to pee.
And you didn't know that.
And you didn't know that. That could be a little bit annoying.
And so I feel like there's some things before you road trip, and when I say road trip, I'm talking about like multiple hour drives, right?
It's
Hours.
not like across town.
No. I think it's healthy to say on both ways, like, hey, just so you know, like, here's my pee schedule, right?
Here's the kind of music I listen to.
Exactly. It's like, oh, could you please not play that song because it makes me cry every time.
Right. Here's the kind of snacks that I need.
Oh.
Or if you're in a road trip with somebody who doesn't like food in their car.
Oh my gosh.
Like, that's going to be an issue because I'm going to need some food.
What if you are on a road trip with somebody and they pull out something stinky?
Oh, God.
Like a food that smells the whole car up?
Yeah,
no. Oh, that's so gross.
Yeah, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't be that person.
Road trips to me...
If you're going to be that person, make sure that everybody else in the car is also that person.
Don't pull out smoked herring. Right? Like halfway between the road and be like, oh, wait, the smell of fish makes all of you sick in this closed space? Weird. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Sherry, overall, though, like road trips, are there things that can make the drive more, I don't know, enjoyable for you? Are there road trip essentials? This could be like things you bring, things you pack, things you need.
Me personally, I either have to sit in the front seat or I have to bring my little like seasickness patches, motion sick patches.
Yep.
And wear them. I just bring them, but actually have them attached to my person.
Yep.
Because I get sick
if you sit in the back
seat.
Yep.
So, like, that's something that I just have to know ahead of time. Am I going to be sitting in the front seat? If it's just two of us, I don't need to wear my little patch. If it's more than just the two of us, I will probably be sitting in the back seat.
Yep.
And I'm going to need to have a patch.
Yeah, you rarely sit in the back seat when it's just the two of us. Just be up front driving.
Only
you
sometimes.
Like an Uber driver?
Right. Driving Miss Daisy.
So funny.
So that's, for me personally, I just need some kind of something. But then, those also make me drowsy.
Yes.
And so that's something to, like, take into consideration. But speaking on the drowsy, and also depending on the length of the road trip, maybe a pillow, maybe a blanket.
Yeah.
You and I are very different on temperatures.
Very different.
So I just get cold easily, and you get hot easily.
Yes.
And so trying to find a balance where it's just comfortable for us both is near impossible.
Because we don't have a vehicle that's like, it's new enough that has like the driver's side one temperature, passenger side the other.
Right.
Like, we ain't fancy.
We ain't fancy. Neither one of our 2009 vehicles have that. So that's just not like a thing for us. So we have to. It's kind of a constant like back and forth between like too cold, I'm freezing, and then 5 minutes later he's like sweating profusely.
Totally.
So
like, let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Right now, how do you feel?
My feet and legs are a little chilly, but the rest of me is okay.
So when you say overall right now, you're comfortable, cold, or warm?
I'm comfortable.
Okay. Right now, I can feel the sweat on my sides.
And see, that's the problem. And so it's just like I understand that we probably needed to have it colder in here, but then I would be like shaking.
Yeah. So I'll sweat.
Well, no. Like,
I'm kidding.
Honestly, we kind of go back and forth. Like,
we do.
We turn it up until you're comfortable, and then we turn it back down until I'm comfortable, and then we turn it back up. So It's just kind of this constant back and forth. But if I have like a blanket or something, then we can have it a little colder in here, more comfortable for you, and I can be under a blanket.
Also, I know you guys can't see this because it's an audio podcast, but we are driving right now through the most amazing like mountain range.
It's beautiful. We're in a pass, and so it's just mountains. I'm like just coming straight up on either side of the road.
There's a waterfall to our right. We just passed like the snow-covered mountains, like avalanche chutes.
Snow back here.
There is lots of snow on the mountains. It's all green grass around us, like where we are.
Yep.
But on the mountains, lots of snow. So I just wanted to give you guys a mental picture of where we're at.
The beauties.
Okay, other road trip essentials. Do you have anything else other than blanket, pillow, motion sickness?
Again, depending on the length, if it's going to be a long one, I'm probably going to want a book. I'm probably going to want, like, games on my phone, so, like, a charger for my phone. Charger is kind of, like, essential for anything.
That was actually...
all the times.
That was going to be one of mine, though, is to make sure that you have, like, chargers for phones.
Mm-hmm.
Because if there's like 3-4 people in the car, like all of you are on your phone,
right?
You know.
I mean, hopefully the driver's not, but.
Oh, what do you mean? I'm just kidding. And so yeah, chargers. That's a huge one.
Yep.
An aux cable.
Yep.
If that's how you connect your music.
Yep.
Yeah, all those things.
Yeah, we have like the aux Bluetooth little plug-in thing because again, 2009 vehicles, so like that works for us. But yeah, some kind of way to listen to your music that's maybe not just on your phone.
Because that's annoying.
That's kind of annoying.
Oh gosh.
Anything else that you need, like essentials for road trips?
My essentials for a road trip was the power cord. That's what I was gonna say. Like that's the essential for me. Is the phone charge. Yeah, I don't think I have any other essentials.
So I think that we should talk about people for a second again, because I think that road tripping with people, can be good or bad, and I think that all depends on how well you travel together. I think that it depends on like conversations.
Yeah.
And if it's somebody who never ever stops talking, that's kind of annoying. But if it's also somebody who like never really talks, also kind of like awkward, like just like long just silences.
Yep.
However, I think that there needs to be a good balance of both, because like just silence is super awkward.
Yep.
Nothing but talking is annoying. So especially like in Alaska when it's just beautiful, like there's times that I just want to be able to enjoy the scenery and not have to participate in a conversation.
Yeah. And just like take it in.
And just be able to take it in. But I don't know, so I think like a good balance.
Well, and this is one of those things that I think is just it's so difficult to know if you travel well with somebody until you travel with them.
Yeah.
Like there are people that like Sherry and I know and love, but we're like, we will never go on vacation with them because like we would just not travel well together even a little bit.
Right.
And road trips obviously very similar. So I will say one of my favorite road trip memories was actually something you did when our nephews were here last summer, because you went through and you downloaded podcasts that were like designed for like youth their age.
Yes.
And I thought that was so fun. It was like,
and things that were of interest to them.
Yeah, it was like facts about things. I remember one of them was like about cats.
Yep, and they both love cats. They have two, and so so they just ate that up. Like they were so interested in a podcast about cats.
And I just thought that was so like considerate to think of, okay, who am I traveling with? What is something that I can bring that would make their trip better? Yeah.
And if like the conversation does kind of lull a little bit, then like, oh, let's listen to this podcast about cats.
Yeah.
And then about what was it, whales or
yeah, I think there's one about whales.
Yep.
So we talked about cats. Now I want to talk about farts.
Oh no.
Okay? Because we have
the obvious transition.
We have to address the elephant in the room.
Yeah.
One of my favorite road trip things, and this is so funny, and I bet we all have been in this situation.
Oh sure.
You're in a car full of people, and someone just randomly rolls down their window a little bit.
Yep.
And then like 7 to 10 seconds later, you smell it. And everybody in the car instantly knows who did it.
Yeah.
But nobody says anything. It's like my favorite. It's just this understood that it's like, all right, so-and-so tooted, you rolled down the window, you were hoping that it would just go out the window with none of us knowing.
It didn't.
We all know.
It's all right.
But it's okay. Here's the thing. Toots happen.
Yeah, I mean, we've all done it. And it's, I mean, but again, like maybe plan ahead a little bit.
Yes.
Don't eat something that is going to make you gassy right before you go on the road.
The night to participate in a chili dog eating contest is not the night before an 8-hour road trip with friends.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah, that's not when you want to do that.
You don't do that. And if you do, give your friends a heads up so that they can back out.
And maybe, offer to like sit in the back.
Or the bed of the truck.
The bed of the truck.
Or let them strap you to the roof.
Yeah.
So that your gassy butt can just like be blown away by the wind. All right. Well.
Oh man.
We talked food. We talked drinks.
Yeah.
We talked music. Is there anything else we missed, Sherry?
I don't think so. We talked about things not to bring. No fish.
no fish.
Spaghetti.
Well, here's a good rule.
Chili. Fondue.
Fondue's a great one.
Not a great road trip snack.
Because here's the thing. God forbid somebody has to like do a brake check.
Right.
You don't want the inside of your vehicle covered in hot cheese.
Or you.
Well, I honestly kind of wouldn't mind being covered in hot cheese. It's on my bucket list.
It's hot.
It's up there. Being covered in like hot melty cheese, it's up there.
Oh my gosh.
So we want to know from you guys. Here's the questions, and here's how you answer them. You go over to YouTube, you search the LeggLife podcast, which, by the way, thank you guys on YouTube, which I know is not the way most people listen to podcasts.
Right.
But a lot of you guys, like over 100 of you, most weeks, listen to it on YouTube.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
That's
Now,
awesome.
obviously, most people listen on Apple, on Spotify, on Pandora, or not Pandora, Apple and Spotify. But a lot of you listen on YouTube. So go to YouTube, search the LeggLife podcast, find this podcast, and then answer these questions in the comments. What is your go-to road trip snack?
Yep.
Do you have any road trip essentials or items that maybe we forgot?
Oh, yeah.
Right, I'd love to know, like, because maybe people have some kind of a hidden gem.
Yeah.
A road trip pro tip that we don't know about.
Road trip, pro trip. Oh,
Pro tip. Wow, sure. You want to try to? I'm not editing this, so this is all staying in.
A road trip pro tip.
Wow, you nailed it. Good job. So we give you an update on our road trip. We're now passing. We just passed Summit Lake. The Summit Lake. Wait, is this Summit Lake? I don't think that's right. Actually, I don't think it's Summit Lake. Now that I say that, I don't remember the name of this lake. It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. It's still kind of frozen over.
It is frozen over. We're probably 40 minutes away from Seward, Alaska, I'd say. Yeah, so we're going to finish our drive, and we're going to enjoy our road trip snacks,
Yep.
and our road trip drinks, and our road trip music.
Still drinking my coffee.
I still drinking my water. Like, it's exactly what we said. We got water. Let's give them an update on what snacks we have.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so we have cookie dough bites.
Okay, that's the chocolate check.
That's the chocolate check. We have teriyaki elk jerky.
Yep.
And we have Triscuits.
Well, we have
crumbs of Triscuits.
I ate the Triscuits.
You did. I had one.
Well, all right, everybody. Thanks for listening to the LeggLife podcast. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.